هاي، أنا شروق فريد. عايزة قبل ما ابتدي التوك أعرف how many models are here or wanna begin a modeling career. حد يرفع ايديه؟ اوكي، طب بتعملوا ايه الناس اللي قاعدة هنا؟ What do you do? Photography, okay. مبدئيا هو التوك كده كده it can work for anyone who's in the fashion, who wants to be aspiring fashion photographer, anyone who wants to be in the fashion industry. عايزة ابتدي معاكم أول حاجة. Okay. Hey everyone. أنا شروق. أنا اتولدت وعشت في اسكندرية. Um, okay. How many of you don't speak Arabic? Okay, خلاص. I was born and raised in Iskandariya, and I moved out from my parents' house 10 years ago. I started working in random jobs, random places, then I found my modeling career 6 years ago. And this is where it all started. It started with a casting agency that contacted me to go for this commercial. It was a Palm Health commercial, and I was barely paid for it for 25 hours. But I'm really grateful for this commercial because it started it all. I met with a photographer in this commercial called Malak Essawi. I don't know if you know her. She's one of the coolest photographers here in Cairo. And she told me she has a shoot the next day. And I was very stressed out, maybe I didn't know if I'm ready to become a model then. It was for Sherouk Halim. It's one of the biggest jewelry brands. So I've seen those models on internet and in shoes. كان في ساعتها سهيلة أنديل، هبة الدسوقي، إيمان الديب كانت لسه بتموديل. فكنتش عارفة if I can be up for the job yet. كنتش عارفة if I'm really up to the standards, but I took a chance on life. I was really interested in fashion since I was a kid, and I thought, okay, يعني, what is the worst that can happen? So I went the next day to the shoot, and it was really interesting, the whole experience. I just didn't know what I'm doing, but somehow I told myself, okay, don't stress, don't let your nerves take over, and just play around, just be stupid. And at the end of the shoot, the client, Sherouk Halim, she sat with me, and she told me that I have a really unique face and personality, that I have courage. I have to learn a lot to become an actual model, but I have courage, and this is what you need most in this career. For any creative who want to start in the fashion industry, لازم تبقوا عارفين ان مفيش حد بيبتدي من الاول perfect. مفيش حد بيبتدي من الاول عارف كل حاجة. You can't compare yourself to people who have been in the field for 10 years, and just start somewhere, try, and it can start a lot of things. It can start a journey that I'm very grateful for. حاجة تانية قبل ما ابتدي كلام مع محسن، عايزة أقولها. اليوم ده برضو كان في حاجة تانية اتعلمتها، إن ناس كتير، ناس في التيم قالوا لي إيه ده أنت مين؟ أنت جديدة، you have really interesting face. بس قالوا لي حاجة تانية، قالوا لي you're not that tall to become a model. Maybe you will work for beauty shoots, maybe you work for some jewelry shoots. وطبعا الحاجة اللي معظم الوقت بتتقال في الوطن العربي، الموديل وشها بيتحرق، you're gonna have a year or two دوري على كارير تاني basically. فأنا the stubborn person I am forever. I was like, okay, but why not model for editorials and magazines and fashion brands? If I have what it takes, if I know how to pose, if I know how to capture a photo and capture eyes. So I I didn't listen to them ودي حاجة تانية عايزة أقولها لأي حد لسه بيبتدي أو لسه في أول كاريره. And opinion, people are entitled to their opinion, and you can't listen to everyone and the standards everyone puts for themselves or for others. Just be yourself, be unique, do what you believe in, and things just work out, I swear. So it's just all trial and failure, and things work out. So yeah. دلوقتي عايزة أقدم محسن عثمان. He's one of the biggest fashion photographers in Cairo, and he's one of my closest friends. And we wanna talk about teamwork and dynamics in the fashion industry. Go.
هاي ازيك؟ الصوت تمام كده؟ هاي أنا محسن عثمان fashion photographer و art director I want to talk to you today especially to the photographers لو في models برضو about the relationship between the model and the photographer and how things should be علشان في ناس بس بيبقى التعامل مع المودلز مش أحسن حاجة and يعني a successful shoot is all about it's all about the chemistry and communication and respect between model and photographer. فمثلا first of all يعني to break the ice when you go to the shoot يعني you need to go talk to the model, know their name. في ناس on set ساعات ما بيبقوش عارفين حتى اسم المودلز لآخر ثانية في الشوت which is really bad يعني it's offensive وما بيخليش اللي قدامك مرتاح يعني if you don't try to get to know the person you won't get the best out of them.
أنا بالنسبة لي يعني دي حاجة اتعلمتها مع الوقت and I always advise my friends who are starting like even photographers, videographers, stylists. I always advise them first thing you do in a shoot when you go in just introduce yourself. It's really easy. You just go in, hi, I'm Sherouk. How are you? I'm gonna be the model for you today. I'm gonna be the photographer for you today. This breaks ice. ده أول حاجة. تاني حاجة it makes people warm to you and you work with a team. You don't work alone. So if people are عندهم walls و barriers and boundaries and you just don't communicate well وخلاص الموديل تطلع لك على ال backdrop بعد ما تخلص makeup and she doesn't even know who you are and you start shooting. Definitely الشغل مش هيطلع زي أما build relationship like it doesn't have to be personal but just have a connection like it starts with a name and a how are you, how is your day. So
also برضو يعني you need to show them the mood board, make them understand what you're going for عشان برضو ساعات الموديل يعني it depends on the model. في ناس بيبقى willing ان هم اصلا يسألوا في بيجوا I'm just doing my job. But it's important to show them the mood board and to discuss it with them and make them understand what you have in mind so they can give you your best. Also, مثلا let's say صورت كام صورة you need to show them like give them a positive feedback so they know they're on the right way. وحتى لو مش كده like just try to smile because أنا نفسي ساعات بقفش نفسي اللي هو أنا ببص في الكاميرا وبعدين ألاقي إن الصورة مش عاجباني فاللي هو بعمل كده بس اللي هو لا I need to tell them it's not about them it's about حاجة من عندي lighting أو composition أو whatever بس it's not them and if it's them you need to tell them what to do بس بطريقة لذيذة. Usually برضو like I try to study poses or the things that I want to do ف like kind of do mirroring with the model.
yeah, illustrates a lot.
فيعني أنا عن نفسي طريقتي إنه usually I see what the model can do and like أشوف إيه البوز اللي عجبني منها مثلا بس if I have something in mind then I tell her what to do. بتحسس إن صوتي already عملي.
يعني you have to have a basic understanding برضو تعرف تقرا البني آدم اللي قدامك لأن مش كل موديل هتدخل لك not every model that's gonna walk in هتبقى very confident في الأول أو هتبقى maybe she's a bit shy maybe she has something going on in her head. So you have to grab her attention. You have to create a communication with her. You have like she to choose يعني مثلا لو في المود بورد poses معينة هي مش عارفة تعملها to find alternative تفكر معاها get her creative with you يعني that's why I love shooting with Mohsen. We shot together, we know each other for a very long time but we started shooting soon together. later on together. And I loved shooting with him because literally أنا ما بعطل, he just stands and he's like, Sherouk, do this, do this. He knows how to do it himself, he studied it himself. And it just like works, like it's a harmony, and this is what we're talking about. You have to have a harmony with the team you're working with.
سو الشوت دي كانت ابتدت من انه احنا كنا وقت الكوفيد وما كانش حد بيشتغل اصلا and then لو ابتدينا ننزل حاجه بسيطه ف actually we're gonna shoot at the client house just like حاجه basic لذيذه كده. بعدين قلنا طب ما في pool طب let's get into it and already the client was obsessed with Sherouk and she wanted her. بس then بعد ما خلاص حضرنا المود بورد وخلاص احنا تمام هنعمل كده فانا افتكرت انه ايه ده شروق ما بتعرفش تعوم. بس and then I told the client look I trust Sherouk, she doesn't you need to know that she can't swim بس I trust her. بس وقضينا الموضوع يعني quick tutorials quick swimming tutorials يوم الشوت نفسه علشان يعني نعرف نعمل كده. And what I love about Sherouk and working with her ان هي like no matter what she can do she will try to do it. يعني Sherouk بتدخل شوت Sherouk عامة شكلها اللي هو موديل كيوت لا بس لا هي يعني لما بتدخل متوحشة و like she tried to do her best دايما مهما كان يعني she will try to do it.
هو لو الموضوع مش هيخلص على غرق ف why not try. هو that's the thing اللي أنا ما قلتوش يعني كنت عايزة أقوله some point. I imagine it in my head. Sherouk is a person and Farid is another person. So Sherouk ما بتعرفش تعوم أو عندها مشاكل مع المية بس Sherouk فريد مش لازم تتعلم تعوم دلوقتي. So we ended up shooting underwater all day. أول ساعة طبعا كانت محسن معايا جدا وكلاينت وكل الناس. بس we ended up posing, getting some pictures.
It's all about the communication and then like انه مثلا لا انت ما بتعرفيش تعومي او ايه المنظر ده لا like I'll just show her the picture tell her like طب ممكن نعمل كده طب بصي يعني تمام انت دلوقتي بقيتي عايزه تقعدي تحت الميه بس اللي هو like keep it fashion بقى وشك ما يبقاش كده بتاع.
We had a lot of this at the beginning of the show.
ده شوت تاني اكشلي نفس الكلاينت ما اعرفش بنحب نشمع شروق ونعذب شروق. ف حسنا يعني اصلا فاللي هو بقى طول اليوم على الحصان تحت الحصان جنب الحصان.
Sometimes بيبقى عندك vision, you have a vision, but sometimes it doesn't always work. يعني you can communicate it and it doesn't work. يعني أنا when they told me I'm shooting with horses, I know horses. I know they are like dogs. They have to warm up to you, especially that I'm shooting with 6 horses all over the day. So it's a lot. So I communicated that maybe I should meet them before, like a day before or something, or like go earlier. بس الموضوع ما اتحققش قوي. So of course the horses were difficult to work with. They were super scared and I was just like going like and and they were freaking out. At some point I was gonna get kicked. We ran. But you have to work around it, like exactly like the other shoot. They told me like the night of the shoot you have to be underwater. And I'm like, no, I can't swim. But you have to work around it at the end of the day. Mohsen بيحب ينزلني ميه كتير. ده shoot for Vogue إيطاليا.
احنا كنا بنلعب عامة بس اللي هو غالبا maybe that's why the client thought she can swim عشان الصورة دي كانت قبل الشوت ف بس اللي هو ما اعرفش for some reason صورت شروق كتير في المية ما بتعرفش طبعا.
Yeah, you get out of your comfort zone. برضو Okay.
طيب انا عشان اقعد معاكم بعدين اروح على توب تاني لو حد interested in fashion بقى photography لوحدها it's at 6 at Mint Hub. بس all I can say انه again it's all about communication and even مع كل التيم مش مع الموديل بس you have to have like because as a photographer you're kind of like the director of the shoot maybe you have a production you have an art director but in the end كله هيبقى في وشك so you need to know how to deal with the models with the rest of the team have respect don't be dictator and just be nice so you can get what you want I can be dictator sometimes بس عادي يعني بطريقة لذيذة
Some models, يعني أنا معايا I never take things personal. بس it took me برضه years بس I've always been like this بس it took me years إن أنا أعرف أحب الشخص اللي قدامي حتى if he's being dictator. But some models don't know how to separate being personal and being professional. So you have to be careful around this because if she hates you, like she's gonna be difficult to work with. You're gonna waste a lot of time. You're gonna waste a lot of money. You're gonna lose the client basically. That's why I got Mohsen here. I wanted to talk أول حاجة about teamwork because it's a team. If someone لو في حد حصل له lag هو التيم كله هيقع والكلاينت مش هيشتغل مع التيم ده تاني. So you're building a client.
it shows كمان في الصور يعني لو الدنيا مش لذيذة بس للناس usually it shows in the pictures and ونسيت أهم حاجة consent like if you wanna touch the model if you wanna ask her to do anything you need to ask her first because stylist يعني it's the stylist job to do that but sometimes you just go to the shoot and the stylist is somewhere else so ببقى عايز مثلا أظبط شعرها jacket skirt you need to ask before you do any of that.
Exactly, and I'm gonna get into that, the model safety and regulations. It's at the end of the slides. But yeah, it's very important to understand حتى if you're gonna touch her knee, if you're gonna do anything, to just ask before.
It goes for
be
the
like,
male
okay.
models too. You
What?
know, male and female models.
Yeah,
Like it goes for
both.
both.
Exactly. يعني
طب شكرا جدا يا جماعة.
I thank Mohsen. I hope in اللي كلمنا فيه everyone can understand it and everyone took it well and if anyone has questions you can ask me. Maybe Mohsen left خلاص. Okay, this is where it started. And a lot of people always ask me how you started your modeling career. And honestly, I never have an answer till today. It's been 6 years. Everything started super randomly, as I told you, like this casting agency, and then I went to the shoot of Shoot Ben Halim. كنت عايزة. As you see on the left, behind the scenes. I didn't know what I want to do or what I'm doing. I just like had fun with it. And on the right, we have the shoot, which was a mini shoot, thank God, like for a beginner shoot. But apparently it went viral. I got a lot of jobs after it, especially by jewelry brands. So this is why I was saying, يعني, just go for it, and it opens up يعني, a lot of doors. And then later, yeah, when they told me like, when a lot of people in shoes came and told me, okay, you're gonna just stick to jewelry, and maybe because you're high, not many brands are gonna contact you. So it actually happened. My first 3 shoots, like shoots after, like they were all jewelry. It was Hayden here, Michael Oro, Udasa Box. I'm very proud of this shoot because the designer was very bold وده مش موجود عندنا في مصر كتير. هي كانت حجابي designer and she wanted to do a concept about sustainable jewelry. It was an alien coming out of the plastic and the dirt and the things. And I'm very proud of it عشان El Arabia took this shoot and published it. And usually in Vogue Arabia, El Arabia, this is gonna be too much sometimes. لما بيبقى الفستان مفتوح شوية بيقولوا لنا نقفلوه. I really love doing this shoot and I love the designer that she's very innovative and she was willing to be risky. بس بعد كده انا قلت هو ايه الناس هتبقى صح ولا ايه؟ انا شكلي هشتغل جولري بس طول حياتي لغايه ما فعلا بقى وشي يتحرق. بس I was so happy when I received my first editorial. That was my first editorial ever. I remember it was in August. الحرارة كانت 45. We were shooting with a parachute for like 16 hours. And we have to wait for the parachute عشان يتنفخ في الصحراء في حرارة 45. So it was this day I learned how to deal like with extreme environments. I was shooting trench coats. Some of them are Mohanad Koja, some of them Rafiq Zaki, the dresses. I was shooting with trench coat in 44 degrees, so it taught me a lot. And that was the video for the shoot. I don't know if it can play here. Okay, I have a lot of videos here. It's not gonna work. طيب يا جماعة. Let's move on. هم هيحاولوا يحلوا المشكلة دي. المهم. Yeah, I was very excited to receive an editorial. It was something back to me because it proved to me, okay, I can do something outside of beauty and jewelry. And it all came from like, I tried to market myself in the right way. I tried to be professional in any circumstance. And this industry, بالذات هنا في مصر, but I think worldwide, it's a word of mouth industry. So maybe some creatives started to talk about me to brands, some photographers, maybe brands are talking about me to other brands. This is where it all started. I tried to be consistent in my life شوية, taking care of my skin, taking care of my body, taking care of my mental health, because it all shows. And I think it goes to all also, يعني حتى if you're a photographer, if you're an art director, if you're whatever, if you don't take care of who you are, like the creativity is gonna fall behind, everything is gonna fall behind. So this is really essential because this industry can be sometimes very stressful. And sometimes you're asked for a lot of things, you're asked for a lot of creativity, you just burn out, and if you don't take care of yourself, خلاص يعني هيطلع حد مكانك who's gonna replace you and who's taking care of themselves. Okay, I wanted to show you some videos and stuff, but الفيديوز مش شغالة. بس that was my first fashion brand. It's a local designer اسمها Amina K. And it was shot by Photo Boutique. It was a very nice campaign. I wanted to show you the video because it was the first time I get out of my comfort zone. It was just just poker face all the time. So when I arrived to this shoot, they told me they didn't have a mood board. And then sometimes you have to work around that as well. As soon as I got in, they are like, imagine you're Pablo Escobar's wife and you're a psychopath, بس انتي مصرية لسه. I was like, okay. You have to be imaginative. Like, watch the video, I can show you, بس هو للأسف ما فيش أي حاجة. شاحن ايه؟ But I was really excited for this shoot. It was my first fashion brand, and I was wearing clothes finally. And it wasn't just my face. Um, and it was the first time I found that out that I didn't consider models creatives before, but that was the first time I found out okay I'm a creative as well. لو ما فيش مود بورد متحضر او لو الستوري لاين ممكن يكون غريب شوية مش عارف. ف you have to do your own story in your head and act it out. We're gonna go back to that because I want to show you. This is my first back shoot. It was for Othman. أنا حطيت الشوت ده عشان كنت عايزة أتكلم على point معينة. When I first started, and I'm sure like if all of you are startups, most of you are startups, I was always asked to work for free. And I always had this rule even before getting into modeling. I would collaborate on an editorial. I would collaborate with artists like me. عشان احنا بنكبر بعض, we're a community, we grow each other. But I never was willing to collaborate with a brand. I was contacted a few times by big brands at the beginning. And every time يعني they all said the same, no budget, no budget. بس أنا يعني في ناس ممكن يبقوا okay with that. I was in a talk yesterday and some agent said why not. But Anna, for me, I always had this rule from the first day. Whenever a brand contacted me, I was like, okay, sorry, when you have a budget, come to me. I'm not gonna work for 8, 10, 12 hours. I would rather sit at home and maybe contact a photographer or like contact like some artists and do a test shoot instead. Why would I promote for you for free? That's my own opinion. With Othman, at the first time they contacted me, they wanted to do a collaboration. And I said no. And then later, I was gonna cry in bed. I'm like, oh my God, I said no, I just started. Like, I would like to work for Othman. But they contacted me again after a few weeks and for a collaboration again. And I said no. And then they just forgot about me maybe for 2 months or something, and then they contacted me and they were willing to pay me. First shoot I did with them, I shot with them 3 times. First shoot I did with them, they were really got the tight on the budget, so I took a bath. Second and third shoot I got paid finally. This is very personal, but في نفس الوقت I think a lot of people always ask this question. يعني I don't know if a lot of you guys went through that. And then I started doing some commercial work. It's very tricky لأن في ناس برضو كتير بتقولك when you do commercial work خلاص بتتحط في zone معينة and then it's very hard to get out of it. It's very hard to get out of it. لأن ممكن doing certain maybe commercials can turn off fashion brands أو fashion designers إن هم يشغلوك بعد كده. I was a bit scared when I started doing commercials, بس برضو I always keep in mind, I always ask questions before the shoot. I'm like, who's the director? What is it for? كم ساعة? What kind of outfits? What kind of everything? And same goes to photographers, stylists, by the way. Fashion brands, it's worldwide, like sometimes it's a turn off, like when they see a lot of commercials, especially if the quality is not that creative. فأول commercial قابلت بيه كان الشمال. That was with the good people وشانك هو اللي صوروه. تاني commercial it was in Dubai for Namshi. تالت commercial was with M4 for I can't remember the name of the place. بس يعني I tried to like be selective around commercials بس برضو يعني اما ناس كانت بتقولي لا ما توافقيش على commercials خالص كنت شايفة no I would like to explore more. And then more editorials started to come my way and it was very cool to just see my face on websites of magazines and covers, and I didn't have much time to put all the magazines. I actually started and I stopped. But more editorials came my way, and actually this is my favorite. I have most fun I have doing editorials because this is when you go crazy. This is when you just apply your vision. Yeah, editorials are not paid usually, but in this work, like usually, يعني, the best advice just don't run after money because money comes and goes, and it will come eventually. Just be focused on creating a community, creating art, and that's why my favorite is editorials. Uh, اليمين ده, it was put on Vogue Italia, but it was shot by Ali Rodi, Amina Zahir, وده كان على Scorpion magazine. That was a Pakistani photographer. His name is very difficult for me. And it was Scorpion, and this went on Vogue Arabia. أوريكم ده before we get into the agency talk. Uh, a lot of that was a video we shot for own models. مبدئيا me and Iman, when I started modeling, she was the first model I modeled with. We shot together for like 100 times, and we became friends. Yusra Deep Bardo. And they told me about the idea of own models. And I really love that لسببين. أول سبب إن it was a big headache to work with the clients. وإن أنا أقعد أحاصل ونيجوشيت ويزودوا outfit ويقللوا ساعة ويزودوا ساعة. And I'm sure it goes for every creative in the industry. So having an agent, for me, it's essential. It protects your rights, and also it protects your head. Like just like not having surprises on shoots and getting compensated for what you're doing exactly. Sorry, Gamera, malfunction. I'm gonna get back to this. Guys, طب لغاية ما هم يشغلوا, do you have any question, anyone? get it there. So guys, this is the editorial zoom out. But I think I went up. Yeah, I want to show you this. So this is where, when I was Pablo Escobar's wife. Eh? No. Okay. This, this is where I told you like it's the first fashion brand and like where I discovered that creative. I need to be creative. Okay, you got the idea. So that was maybe 5 years ago, and I barely walked in heels. And I was asked to dance in this video in heels. And this is where I also say, just try. And like for me, okay, Sherouk didn't know how to walk in heels, but Sherouk Farid, like she will dance in heels. I don't know, sometimes it works for me. I'm not sure, yani, maybe try. And this is when UNT started. I wanted to join them علشان honestly I knew Iman and Yusra and their integrity. They were my friends before they started the agency. And then when they started the agency, the motive behind it was to represent Arab faces and same as international faces being represented worldwide. We wanted to have this in Cairo, in Egypt, and it was all about يعني في ناس كتير بتقولي اللي هو okay but you don't look Arab, but I'm Arab and Arab doesn't have a look. It was all about finding various faces and looks and getting used to the idea of communicating with an agency سواء ده للبراندز للكلاينتس أو المودلز أو الفوتوغرافرز أو whoever. And that was the launching video, which is basically the whole idea of the agency, and that's email, guys.
What is Un? Un is an ancient
This video also was directed by Mohsen
birthing a new concept
and
of
was shot
fashion
by
is translated,
the photos.
representing true beauty. True beauty in which authenticity is exuded. Authenticity, a new order of freedom from what draws us further from who we are. Authenticity, a concept which may be confused for egotism. A concept which Un calls love. Love for self, love for others. Un is home of unity. Unity in which individuality is sacred.
Basically, you get the idea. أنا حبيت إن أوري الفيديو ده because you can see me, you can see every girl and how different we look, how different we move and everything. ده للناس اللي بيقولوا okay في ال Egyptians ليهم certain look بس كلنا we have a harmony and we look good together بس كلنا we look different and all of us are Egyptians. So that's the idea of UN, and this is where we go to how important to work with an agent. Working with an agent can be a great way to grow your career as a model and also like as a photographer, like working with a creative manager. Agents should and can provide guidance, advices, and expertise in the industry. Agent بتاعك like هو that's the idea of working with an agent. They know your direction. They can also see what you can't see in yourself. Okay, this photographer, okay, this stylist like work well in high fashion. This photographer or stylist or work well in editorials, in beauty, in commercials. So sometimes you think, okay, no, أنا عايزة أبقى fashion photographer قوي بس أنت maybe أنت اللي شايف كده ومن بره هو الايجنت بقى هي دي شغلته ان هو يجايد يو وفي نفس الوقت يجايد clients to you based on your skills. ف this is really important and researching who you're working with is extremely important. You have to read your contracts very well. You have to read your agreements very well. And you need to research if they have a good or bad reputation. ما شاء الله هنا في مصر كل الناس بتتكلم. فلو سألت أي حد it's really easy to know who you're working with. عشان so you don't get stuck into something that is not easy to get out of. Oh, and you should communicate your restrictions and boundaries. This is very, very important for models and for whoever, but for models especially, communicating your restrictions and boundaries is essential because ما ينفعش on the day of a shoot you go and you're like خلاص you're on the day of the shoot you're doing your makeup and you're like oh okay I'm sorry I'm not wearing swimsuits I don't like to wear swimsuits and then there is like huge money that is paid and preparations and there's a whole team waiting for you and why didn't you communicate it before? Why didn't you even communicate it? Because sometimes it comes from freelancing models, sometimes it comes from agents models that the agent weren't aware of her limits. زي أنا بالنسبة لي مثلا I don't like to wear hijab in a shoot but not for the hijab itself. Is because احنا في Middle East like hijabi models don't have like recognition and they don't have a space between the industry and I would rather a hijabi model to shine in that than me going there taking her job and wearing hijab. But I communicate that clearly to clients and to agents. I can't go on a commercial on that day and be like, sorry, I have a rule, I don't wear hijab. So communication is really, really essential. And if you're freelancing, communicate everything to the photographer or the client before you go on the day of the shoot. And last, yeah, be professional and respectful of yourself. First and foremost, please be respectful of yourself. because no one will respect you if you don't respect yourself. And other models, definitely, because the shoot is gonna be a nightmare if two models are crashing. And agents, photographers, creatives, be respectful of everyone, please. كل حد بيبقى تعبان، كل حد. Everyone is trying to finish the day. مفيش حاجة personal ومفيش حد جاي يغلس على حد. فعشان like I see a lot of people saying oh ما بحبش اشتغل مع الفوتوغرافر ده اصله معوج شوية اصله هو يوم الشوت ما ابتسمليش ما عمليش. Yeah, it's good to be nice to each other and kind بس مش كل حد بيبتسم على طول ومش كل حد not everyone is always smiley not everyone is always sometimes they are just stressed honestly so maybe sometimes they are like this is who they are but most of the time they are just stressed they are trying to finish the day so don't take anything personally if you don't like them don't become their friends but just be professional on the day of the shoot and be respectful of everyone and try to collaborate and help them to finish the day so they can help you as well. And honestly, Anna, with me, I met some people who are maybe a bit egotistical, a bit intense, but just by smiling, like maybe the first hour they're like, but just by smiling, trying to communicate, moving around, just having fun, like they start to warm up. And if they don't warm up, just don't become their friends. that's, that's the most important thing. Okay, and going international. I get this question a lot. How did you get to international? That's why I wanted to take you on the journey from the beginning to the end. Honestly, أنا ما كنتش حاسبة أي حاجة. Things just kept coming and coming and coming. But I was like along the way, adapting and trying to fit in my vision يعني. I wanted to become an international model. So I had to act professionally in every shoot. Though sometimes it's hard to like think of everything. Sometimes life is hard. So like I tried to like going on the day of the shoot looking fresh, not looking tired. This got me more shoots and this got me more magazines. I tried to work like in extreme environments where I don't know how to swim or like it's 44 degrees or I'm shooting swimsuits in winter and stuff like this. So when they had like shoots for magazines, who they recommended first? Okay, like shoot with Sherouk all models دي بتعمل كل حاجة، انت بتتشقلب في الهواء، انت بتقف على السور، انت بتاع. If I just kept saying no to stuff, like, and it's some models do it, and some photographers, whoever in the industry say, no, I don't do this, no, I don't do that. So okay, it's your thing. بس الناس دايما عايزة تشتغل مع حد بيعمل كل حاجة. عايزة تشتغل مع حد flexible. عايزة تشتغل مع photographer as Mohsen. Like like if the stylist disappeared somehow, he will know how to style. He will know how to guide the model. He will know how to put the lighting even. Like he doesn't need a lighting assistant. So you have to work in any environment to just like be recognized and go international. The first step to it was shooting international brands coming to Egypt. After shooting, يعني, I started with magazines. Photographers coming from abroad with international brands saw me in magazines. So they wanted to shoot with me here. So it started there. I shot for my first international brand, Vera Wang, designer. She's a couture designer, I think. It's a big brand. A photographer came from LA and he wanted to shoot me at the pyramids. And this is the first step I took in my international career. And then another designer from Spain, it's Carmela Shoes. They saw me on some magazine and they saw that I shot with international clients, so they came to Egypt and they shot with me their shoots, also in the pyramids. Usually they like the pyramids. I went to Starbucks in point بس ما لحقتش. كان في شوت في السوق. I didn't talk about this. You have to learn how بالذات احنا في مصر to learn how to work in extreme environments where في حمار معدي بعربية وفي بوليس بيجري وراك من هنا وفي 70 عربية والناس بتقف تتفرج على الموديل والناس جاية عايزة تدخل جوه So at some point here الروتين كله كان سبانش طبعا فأنا كنت المفروض بجايد الموضوع كله من أوله لآخره. احنا واقفين في وسط الشارع بتاع الهرم الأهرامات أكتر شارع زحمة هناك مش عارفة اسمه ايه. And I should be just like sitting and like posing like this blah blah والبوليس بيجري ورانا واحنا بنحاول نهرب من البوليس وناس بتقف والفوتوغرافر I really respected the photographer لأن هي كانت جاية من برشلونة والمود كان مختلف طبعا تماما بالنسبة لها first time in Egypt بس هي she kept her calm the whole day. She knew how to deal with even the cops when they just stopped there and took her camera, almost broke it. But you always have to learn to work in intense environments and for models, especially like shooting in the street is not easy, especially you're wearing a bit of revealing stuff or shiny things. It can be difficult, so you have to learn how to shut down the whole environment, to keep your cool and to work around it and be diplomatic and don't get angry or intense because this is gonna fuck your shoot up and you can't avoid this in Cairo. يعني shooting here is amazing and fun, but at the same time things can get difficult sometimes and keeping you cool, being diplomatic is what's gonna get you out of it. And then big magazines start to contact on a personal level يعني مش إن أنا shoot for brand and they put it on the magazine. They contacted us models in Cairo and they wanted to do an article for Vogue Arabia about modeling and female models in Cairo. في الشوت ده it wasn't just on models كان في معانا سهيلة and كمان. That was a big step. I'm very proud of that.
Saying I'm Egyptian
Recognizing Egyptian faces.
Saying I'm Egyptian comes with a lot of history, culture, civilization, and this is what makes me proud of my heritage.
So, being in the spotlight as an Egyptian model for international brands, I got contacted by this international brand in Jordan. Her name is Nafsika Skorti, the designer, but she's worldwide. Like she's in Paris and in London, and she wanted to fly me out of Egypt to shoot me. And actually, that was the first time I get out of Egypt in my life. I never traveled outside قبل الموضوع ده. And this shoot was the best thing that happened in my life. This shoot went on Vogue US, and it went on Vogue Runway in New York. It went on Men World wrote about it. I didn't want to put all the magazines that talked about this shoot, but it was amazing. I met the photographer who shot me, shot Gigi and Bella and everyone, and like this shoot just changed my life and it gave me another perspective about being an international model. It made my goal more solid, And it got me really persistent that I'm gonna make it outside of Egypt. I can, any creative here, because here, a lot of creatives, they don't believe in nomad, they can make it anywhere in the world. But they should make me believe, honestly, and I'm very proud of this one. And once I started believing, I got contacted برضو by الأميرة بتاعت عمان مرات السلطانة. She had a perfume brand that she's launching, and she contacted and she saw me in the other one, and she wanted me in that. And I'm being selective about the shoots I'm showing you guys because everyone is very special to me. That was special ليا علشان أنا لما أوريكم فيديو هتفهموا. I always, I started, I always thought like I just want to present myself بس في نفس الوقت fit in the direction of the client or the brand or the team I'm working with. But how do I stick to my personality? How do I stick to who I am? And after I was done for the shoot, يعني they flew me, they paid me, they put it on magazines, they did everything, and even the video, they made it about me without me saying who am I. Like time was very tight. I didn't have much time to spend with the team or the client outside of just shooting, and I just went back to the airport. But when they did the video, I felt okay, they knew me. And then I felt okay, I can show who am I without just opening my mouth, also.
I know of a woman who seeks vengeance. Her cheeks are the earth to freckles like pink pepper. Paws are always done in blood orange. She embodies the delicacy of a rose, but you know you should not get too close. I have walked by her once. Wild eyes, her tongue will start a fire. Yet the love she emits is like the deep amber of a Middle Eastern setting sun. She sways with the wind like the vetiver. Yet in her root she stands strong. If you find yourself in fire, forget the world, because red is her redemption.
So yeah, my favorite color is red, and I'm such a fire sign. Okay, and this was my first international placement in Spain, in Barcelona. Shooting in Europe is very, very different from shooting in the Middle East, and even making it in Europe. I stayed there for 3 months, and I only did around 4 or 5 client shoots. Because there, the competition is really, really high. It doesn't mean that you're bad at anything, but it's an extreme competition. And also, like, it's seasons, and the seasons differ from here. So, first thing I learned when I went there, doing a lot of tests. بجد like reaching out to everyone, making myself busy all the time, just running around, going to casting, to another, and then just like testing. All of these are test shoots, and I have like millions, but I didn't have the time to put them all in the slides. But I was testing 3 times a week till I was recognized by a client finally, and I started working. الموضوع مش, it's not the same هنا في Cairo, but still building your portfolio is essential. And as long as you're not working, or you don't just sit and be like, oh, I hope I work, oh, I wish someone can see me. Just reach out to everyone. Don't be scared. Got rejected so many times when I was there. Photographers who just put me on scene and never reply, or ناس تقول لي oh okay but لا you have to pay me to test with you حاجات كتير. بس I was just not, أنا فاضية. هخسر إيه؟ Actually يعني after that, like the first client I got in Spain was oh okay yeah, one of the tests went in Austria and on La Fashion, so that was amazing. So I got something out of it. Wasn't a total waste of time. And this shoot went viral in Spain, where I was. And I got my first client after the other shoot got on the fashion, and it got me a bit out of my comfort zone because I wasn't used to the European style. That was for Valentine's. I wanted to put this shoot because happy Valentine's everyone, and it was a jewelry brand.
With her eyes closed. all
And
she
it
thinks
was very interesting because
red.
I was
as roses
all
are.
acting in the shoot. They just wanted me to act. They
Fire
didn't want
ignited.
much. And also like making out with the
Forces of
statue, that was something
A whisper.
new to try.
Kiss. Gentle statement. Rough or velvet touch. Either way, she says yes. Shivers through her body. The unspoken truth. Like roses, red will last forever.
So that was it. But for first client shoot يعني in Europe, I just saw like huge difference in the way they work and the way we work. And then it landed me this, which was I was very happy to do this shoot. I got recognized in Europe, and Mikita, it's a huge brand in Germany, in Berlin. They contacted the agency and they wanted me personally for this shoot. It was a special edition for their glasses, a collaboration between Mikita and Leica, the camera lens. Like they made the lens of the sunglasses from Leica lenses. So that was big for me, and like especially that I just started work in Spain and like then come from Germany wanting to shoot with me. It's something. So basically, you got the idea. If I didn't, a lot of models get placed, or like a lot of photographers, they wanna, okay, I wanna go to Europe, يدخلوا agency, يقولوا لهم, okay, you're gonna stay here for 2 months, you work, you don't work, خلاص, go back. A lot of them, they go to museums, they go to parties, they go to whatever, exploring, and then they're like, okay, I stayed and I didn't work. But if I never did the shoots I've done, if I never went for the editorials I've did, I would never have received the client shoot, the first client, Elioli, and then Nikita contacting me, which was a huge step in my career. And then Dubai happened. Dubai was really interesting, and I will talk about the positive things. Dubai has huge brands. It's a very different vibe from Europe. The competition, okay, it's high, but it's not like if you know what you're doing, if you're doing your thing, it works easily in Dubai, and you have high-end brands, huge things. But for me, it was special for another thing I'm gonna talk about. On the left, I was shooting for Nike. That was like, it was just like random thing, like they just texted and they were like, okay, you're shooting for Nike, so this only happens in Dubai. On the right, that was for Namshi. It's a huge app there. And in the middle, that was my first Abaya shoot in life. And the shoot I really love and appreciate. It's a local designer, Emirati, and she told me, I went in, I was so stupid, I'm like, is it a Ganabaya shoot? But no, it's a Abaya shoot. I learned that. And I wasn't expecting much, I'm just wearing Abayat. I don't understand it much, honestly, because we don't wear it here. I wasn't expecting much, but actually I learned a lot that day because it taught me about the art and the creativity we can do with our culture, like with just like normal things. So we don't have to westernize westernized, westernized everything. to make it look artistic or high fashion. So this abaya shoot, El Arabia, Vogue Arabia, Men World published it. Even like on my book, they put it always like at the beginning. And I I never expected that. Yani before this shoot, I never knew like, okay, I can wear a abaya and like be on the cover of something. So and I started to apply that like my Arab personality in other shoots later. Because also what I learned always was from Coco Rocha, from Gigi Hadid. It wasn't, I never like thought about it in a very Arab way. And then later I went to Bahrain and I applied what I learned in Dubai. And this shoot went also on Vogue. And they use it sometimes in my books, but maybe for Khalij. And then COVID happened. So I had to come back to Cairo, being stuck here for a couple of years. All of us being stuck. Shooting wasn't really easy. We didn't shoot for a very long time, especially like editorials and this stuff was very difficult to do. But this, when I shot with Bassem Alem Ghazaya, we came with the idea of this editorial. Bassem talked to me and he's like, I want you for this and that and that. And honestly, if I haven't worked in Dubai or Bahrain, and I learned how to imitate this Arab personality and like being proud of my culture, and even like Bassem seeing me in this shoots made him think of me. So we wouldn't have done this. This is one of my favorite editorials that I've done ever. And it went second trending on Vogue after Selena Gomez. So like we were like over the top, me and Bassem and Surur and Kiki and all the team Bigatti, and it was a huge, we didn't expect that to happen because it's about the Ghazaya culture and not much people like know about it. فما فكرناش ان فوق نفسها حدا يبقى فارق معاها. بس this happened. And then I started going back and forth between Dubai and Cairo. And it was really cool. And I was really happy when I got this shoot through my Instagram. I felt like I made it. It was really great. And I think it's one of the biggest success I've had. So I wanted to show you this first, show you behind the scenes. We were shooting in Abu Dhabi in 50 degrees for like 16 hours. I can't open my eyes. So yeah, sometimes you can look like you're strong, you're doing amazing, you're blah, but you're just melting and the sun is burning and the reflector is burning your eyes, but this doesn't, yani, you have to learn to not make it show. So till he says the camera, I'm just closing my eyes, I'm just waiting. Once he tells me to look at him, in character, you have to be bold. Like just, you have to shut down everything. If you're melting, if you're freezing, if you're doing whatever is happening to you. And last thing before I go into questions and answers, safety and regulations. This is extremely important and I wanted to end the talk with it. Safety and regulation for anyone who's starting, even like, I don't know for whoever, but for models especially at young age. And for photographers that are here contacting models, like be careful with that, like we're trying to make her safe, even through messages before meeting her. Because it's very, yani, even if you're a good guy or girl, but if you know that there are bad ones. So it's very important to take care of that, especially like that we have models that are 17 years old, they're very young. We have to accommodate them. So if you are a model, do your background check with whoever is messaging you, and make sure it's a legit photographer. Like, follow big models, follow big photographers in the scene, and see them mutual. Like, this is what I used to do at the beginning. Like, no one followed me, and I didn't know much about the field. I didn't know much personalities. I researched. I followed some of the big names, and whenever someone messages me and I see this big name following them, okay, then they are leisure. So this is very important, and even if you have a career, like, just don't go shoot with random anyone. So because this stuff like goes online and you can never take it back. Don't share your contacts, your personal photos, your information, of course, before you check their legitimacy. Meet in public space. عشان ساعات بيبقى you need to meet before shoot, maybe have a coffee, discuss it, some stuff you have to discuss before shooting, maybe if it's something like a bit complicated. You have the right, وده كان ناس كتير قوي ما تعرفوش, you have the right to bring a friend or a family member to any private space انت أول مرة تروحيه, or if you feel uncomfortable. You have the total right. Don't make anyone make you feel. Or also, if you're a photographer and you find like a very young model that seems a bit insecure or uncomfortable, tell her to bring her friend over, as long as they're not interrupting the shoot or the process. You have every right to do that. And discuss the shoot beforehand, so no surprises happen on the shoot. Because a lot of the time, maybe some clothes are a bit uncomfortable to some people. If you asked to shoot maybe topless with a swimsuit, with a bodysuit, and you're not comfortable with that, you have to discuss this stuff with the stylist, photographer, whoever is contacting you. Make sure you have safe space to change, and especially for the new models, like they can't change in the car easily. They have, especially like if you're a photographer contacting a girl who's not a model yet, like, make sure you can offer her somewhere she can change this, she's comfortable. All pre and post shoot, this is the most important thing. Okay, have to be strictly professional. If it took me years to be friends with who I'm friends with in the field, it's not because after the shoot we just went for a glass of wine or like went for a meal and like we start to be friendly from the first day. You can make the person in front of you, if you're a photographer, if you're a stylist, if you're whoever, you can make the model really uncomfortable asking her to just like come and grab a meal with you. Like, it takes you years to become friends with the people around you. Don't make anyone uncomfortable around you. Keep it professional at all times. There are friends everywhere. You don't have to be friends with people in your work. Because I get this complaint a lot from very new models that they went and shot, and then the photographer or the stylist contacted them. Oh, what are you doing in the morning? Oh, what are you doing at night? Oh, let's go grab a meal. No, don't do that. So yeah, I wanted to talk about this because I hear that a lot. So guys, thank you so much, and I hope استفدتوا بأي حاجة. I was just being totally myself today. I just want you to know where I'm from, what I'm doing, and how did I get here. And for now, like, Q&A. مفيش حد بيinteract من ساعة ما جيت ولا بيتكلم. I hope anyone have any questions.
Okay. I just want to say you did a great job with the talk. And
Thank you.
what is one thing that you wish you knew when you started? Like, in not only in modeling, but just the whole industry.
I started as a model. Now I'm doing production, and I'm hopefully like opening up my modeling academy one day. This is my dream. Like, I'm starting with modeling courses this month. But what I wish I knew when I started modeling is my self-worth. Like, I knew my self-worth my whole life, But at the beginning, maybe I was used a little bit in some stuff, like used like wanting to shoot for this or that, and like going an extra mile where I didn't have to go this extra mile. I was used for their own يعني, game, and I didn't get anything out of it. Even shoots that are paid, like they can use you more and like distract you, maybe with a number of outfits, with hours, with stuff. So I wish I knew that. I knew the details of just counting everything, and That's why when models came, it was very cool for me. So this headache, I don't have to deal with that. I don't have to stand in a shoot and like teaching people my self-worth. Who did that for me? You're welcome. Yes.
Okay. Great talk. Thank you, by the way.
Thank you.
So, quick question. So, you have been talking about how you yourself was pushing every day, contacting people, networking, trying to get some test shoots with photographers you like and creatives you like, right? And you've been talking about it when you were on placements in different countries, right?
Yeah.
So my question is, usually when you're on placement in a different country, and usually when you sign with mother agency in your country as well, this job's supposed to be done by the agency. It's not supposed to be done by you. Did your like Spanish or Dubai agencies, did they accept you actually yourself contacting two photographers? Because usually they restrict that. They're like, this photographer want to test shoot with her, they gotta text us. How did you do this? Did you text them directly, or did you tell them, hey, I would like to shoot with you a test, can you contact my agency, or how was it happening?
Okay, yeah. Abroad, yeah, my agencies in Dubai and in Spain, they always got me test shoots. But I'm a very hungry person and I'm a very active person, so I have to walk around like doing something all the time. So they got me like a test shoot maybe a week, but I want to do more. And usually I should ask them, but like I'm always the bad girl of the agency. So I don't know, I follow my intuition. I'm scrolling in Instagram, like just like going from a profile to another, and I find this page, like profile of a photographer or an art director that I don't know my intuition. I also follow my intuition a lot. I feel like, oh my god, I think we can work together and do something great. So I just text them. And if they reply, I tell my agency, oh, I found this photographer, like he liked my image, like I just like make up whatever. And I'm just like, okay, like he told me like he would love to do this with me, like let's organize. So I get back to them, and if he doesn't answer, they don't know what get them. So
So it's like diplomacy 101 as well.
yeah, I don't know. I'm always like that, and it works well for me. But like, also, like it's not cool to go behind your agency's back. So be careful with that. Yeah, don't get yourself in trouble. But that I don't know. I've worked a lot of stuff before modeling, like marketing and PRing and doing so many things. So I know how I'm doing it, يعني, without getting into troubles.
Really, thanks.
You're welcome.
انت كنتي بتتكلمي دلوقتي ان فكره ان انت كنتي في ماركتنج او في بي ار او في اي حاجه تانية كنت شغاله في حاجات تانية. ايه اصلا السبب اللي خلاكي تموديل؟ وحسيت كده كده ان الموديلنج هو اكسبريس على كالتشر او تو يور سيلف يعني، فايه هو ده السبب اللي من وجهه نظرك خلاكي تموديل عشانه ولا في حاجه تانية؟ وفي نفس الوقت كان عندي سؤال تاني على موضوع ان انت ازاي تختاري الحاجه اللي انت هتعبري عنها، زي ما كانت في حاجه مختلفه زي الحجاب لما كنت بتتكلمي عنها ان هي حاجه مش شايفاها ان هي بتاعتك قوي، في حد تاني ممكن يعملها بطريقه افضل وده شغله اكتر. في حاجات تانية حسيتك بتقوليها زي السيشن بتاعت دبي او البحرين، ان انت حابه تجربي ده او حابه تعملي وان انت اصلا عايزه تبقي بتعرفي تعملي كل حاجه عشان تطلبي. فايه الفرق ما بين الحاجات اللي انت تختاري تعمليها وما تعمليهاش، وايه الحاجات اللي لا انت لازم تعمليها اصلا كده كده عشان تطلبي في شغل؟
انت سألت سؤال طويل جدا وانا تركيزي انا هرد على السؤال التاني وبعدين اسألني السؤال الاول تاني.
اوكي.
اوكي ايه الحاجات اللي اقدر اعملها او ما اعملهاش علشان اختار؟ هو الحجاب مش مشكلته الحجاب، يعني انا اي موديل with حجاب، بس انا خدت القرار ده بعد ما جربت اموديل with حجاب. انا I do everything that is asked for me. They put on snakes on me and I put snakes on me all shoots يعني. There were 4 snakes crawling on me and I'm just like a model does whatever is asked for her. She's not يعني I'm gonna go back to that later. So I just like the hijab thing, and because I have hijabi models friends and they don't have the spotlight shining on them, though احنا في Islamic society or we have a lot of hijabi brands, so it's not convenient to get me, Iman, or any sometimes Russian model like to like wear hijab and abaya and just walk. Like, you have hijabi models, they're gorgeous, they know how to model. Go for her. Like Homa already, we have a lot of brands we can model for. Homa, they don't have much brands, so يعني كل حد ليه recognition بتاعه. Dubai or Bahrain, it was more about finding out my Arab self. Because how I learned modeling was through Western media and Western movies and Western magazines. So in Dubai, working for local designers there, and برضو مصر westernized قوي في الارت، في الحاجات اللي بنصورها. يعني أنا بحب عمرو عز جدا علشان الديفاز في الجاليري اللي هناك، عشان he always trying to apply the culture Arab culture في التصوير بتاعه، بس ده مش موجود في كل حتة في مصر. فهو ده اللي اتعلمته في الخليج in general، بيعتزوا بالكالتشر بتاعتهم، وهو ده اللي علمني إن أنا أبقى معتزة بنفسي كامرأة عربية. To go back to your first question, what was it?
Why we model?
Why am I modeling? انت قلت ان انا بدأت. اوكي، دي قصة طويلة جدا بس يعني هنروح لها في مرة تانية ان شاء الله. انا الموديلينج زي ما قلت هو جالي صدفة through a casting agency. مش عارفة انت كنت قاعد في اول توك ولا لا. The casting agency contacted me on Instagram. I went to this commercial, and it wasn't really modeling, يعني, but it was okay, Alan. And then when I got the shoot the next day, it was literally the next day, by the way, for Jude Ben Halim. This is when I found I'm good at this. And then later on, I discovered stuff about myself because of modeling. أول حاجة modeling like for in some cases it gives girls and men a lot of insecurities. But in my case, no, a lot of insecurities I had. It impacted me in a very good way because maybe it's my passion. And I discovered that my passion is self-expression in general. أنا مش شخص يعني أنا when I did the marketing زي ما قلت PR وكده كنت شاطر جدا فيه in a very young age. But at the same time, I was never passionate about it. فطلعت من اسكندرية وبهدلت نفسي ورحت الجيرني دي علشان I actually found my passion in modeling and self-expression in a way that is very unique and artistic, and I always loved fashion. So I hope that answers your question.
Great, thank you.
Any other questions, guys? Okay, guys, thank you so much for today. And I want to thank Mohsen, he's in his talk, Filment, لو حابين تروحوا له. And I want to thank Mohanad, Kojak, and Ahd, like they dressed me up for the day. And shot the soul for Yasmin Hani, like she put my jewelry on. Thank you so much for today, and I hope استفدتوا, you enjoyed the talk.